Music Scene Investigation is on the air. Rich Wildman here with you, everyone. Glad to see you back with us another Sunday afternoon, and we've got some new music for everybody. It's going to be interesting to see what the panelists have to say this week, and we'll get to that after we meet everybody and find out what the heck is going on with them over in New York City. I think it's that way. I'm not really sure, but it's east of me. It's Tommy Chianti. Hey, Tom, how you doing, man?
I think it's something like this.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. So what's going on?
Okay.
How are things going today?
Okay. Busy. Finally going to get this thing fired up full time, and we'll see what happens.
Well, let's wish you all the luck in the world on that. I know you got a new keyboard you're hiding under your desk there,
Belly.
right? Yeah. If you happen to have tuned in for the pre-show a little bit, you might have seen Tom holding up this monstrosity of a keyboard, this big keyboard that lights up, and he was showing us. Yeah, there it is. That's exactly it. What kind of keyboard is that, Tommy?
It's the Korg Tactile.
The Korg Tactile, eh?
It's pre-programmed to run just about any door, and just with the flip of a blip, you're off and running.
How you liking it so far?
Really good. I hate going back and forth for the mouse. It has an XY pad on it that you can actually use for the mouse. You don't have to keep grabbing it.
Okay. Sort of like does it also work like a chaos or anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far into it. You're supposed to be able to turn into an chaosolator or something.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool stuff. Pinky wants you to fire it up out there, but I doubt you're set up for
It's
that.
a controller. It don't make noise.
It was fired up. It was lit up earlier. You should have seen it. It was amazing. All right, Tommy, thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. And we're going to head over to London, England, and talk to Mr. Ian Husbands next. Hey, Ian, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Rich?
I'm doing fine, except I can see a title bar on your screen there, and I'm not sure I like that so much. I'm going to get rid of it.
You carry on.
No, it's gone now. It's all good.
You happy?
I am,
You sure?
for the moment anyway.
First time for everything.
Exactly. Things going all right with you? Everything fine, hunky dory over in England?
Yeah, busy, busy. I'm just waiting on some new software to come, actually. The full version of Easy Mix 2, which I highly suggest everyone has a look at by Toontrack. Very, very good.
And what does this Easy Mix 2 do?
Well, it does what it says in the tin, really. It makes mixing easier. But what it is they've got a bunch of professional producers to basically put together their effects chains, and then they put it into a box on EasyMix 2 and give you very limited control over what you can do with it. But because these are professional algorithms and professional effects chains that are being used, some of the results on the presets are very, very slick.
Oh, sounds cool. Sounds interesting. I mean, I suck at mixing, so I could probably use something like that.
Another nail in my coffin.
No, not at all, Tom. I think you should have a look at it and embrace it as a tool. It's it doesn't take away from the fact that you still need a good set of ears to get a good result. It just sort of gives you a lot more flavors and tastes to play with, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Sort of like a Corvel cornucopia.
Yeah, it's kind of like you as a world-renowned music chef taking ideas from other world-renowned music chefs and making your own recipes from it.
Cool.
Mm.
All right. Well, Ian, I know that you have some statistics from last week's broadcast as well. Would you mind sharing those with us with regards to the artist and their songs that played last week? Dark Patrick with Leaving the Ice Kingdom, Pretty Fragile, and Feel Box. And the song of the week, of course, which was by The Thick, called March of the Little.
Yeah. So we went for song number 3, didn't we?
Exactly.
Yeah. Our audience didn't.
I thought they might not have. What actually did the stats say?
Well, our audience really wanted to see number one for best songwriting, number one for best performance, and it was a bit of a 50-50 split on mix and production between song one and song three, but ultimately, song one got the most votes. So, yeah, our audience felt a bit different to us this week, last week, wherever it was.
It happens every once in a while, and we don't hold it against them. In fact, we encourage that. So that's
I blame Dave Guerrero.
And I'm sure. Have you told Dave this yet?
No.
And I'm sure he's going to really appreciate it when you do. Are you planning on telling Dave?
He probably blames me.
He should.
There you go. So it's a mutual blame thing. It's not a problem.
Okay. All right. And I don't know. The voting was unanimous last week, though.
It was, and it nearly was with our audience as well. So from that point of view, it was a bit polar opposites. But that's good. As I've said before, I like the fact that we don't always agree with our audience. It's not a case of us getting it right. It's a case of having different opinions. But us as three professional, expert panelists are obviously more right than the rest of them.
Box of Crap is out in the chat room. He's saying he doesn't remember last week, so he's innocent.
That's not what you said last week.
There you have it. Yeah, Tommy remembers last week, so there you go. All right, let's meet our guest panelist on today's broadcast. He was with us this past Wednesday as well. And so if you missed that broadcast, of course, you can watch the recording of it on the website, musicsceneinvestigation.com/hitlist. You can see him there. If you can't get enough of him, he's back with us again today live. Mr. Mark Lamdanski from Worldwide Indie Radio. Hey, Mark, how are you, sir?
Fan-frickin-tastic. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I know you are a big football fan, at least a Dolphin fan, right?
I am not I wouldn't say I'm a big football fan. I am more of I'll watch the Dolphins and see if they win, and if they win, then yay, and if they lose, so what?
That's not how it sounded on the pre-show, because you seemed to be getting quite upset that you weren't winning.
Well, I obviously would prefer to see them win. And when they do, look, I have friends that live up in, the Buffalo area, which is where they were today. And I have friends that live in New England, which is where they played last week. So when my team beats their team, it's my friendly way of, being able to rub something in their faces, So, I get into it sometimes.
Just clarify this for me, right? The Dolphins are playing the Buffaloes. And as I said on the pre-show, I'm uncertain how this works. I mean, surely if it's a Dolphins home game, the Buffalo are going to drown. And if it's a Buffalo home game, the Dolphins are going to die because they're not in water for too long. How does that work?
This preteen humor is it's a little off-putting. Sorry, Ian.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, Ian's trying to be fun.
He's trying, varied success week to week, those kinds of things. All right, Mark, we talked about what's been going on with Worldwide Indie Radio this past Wednesday. Your cohort in crime, Carol, is traveling the world once again. How does she get so much time off from Worldwide Indie Radio duties to do all this traveling?
I dock her pay. That's for sure. When she's away, I don't pay her. And when she's here, I always double her salary. So I guess it comes out even in the end. No, she is in jolly old England right now. I don't know exactly which part. Somewhere near Bristol or in Bristol. And I know she's planning on making it over to London at some point. I know I've heard from her briefly through Facebook. She says she's having a grand old time. She's seen friends, family, and I'm sure she's not able to tune in today, but I'm sure she's going to listen to the podcast. So, hey, Carol. And
I'm very upset with her.
Why?
She was meant to email me, and we were meant to meet up to do coffee and lunch, and go to adventurous places with each other, and I've heard nothing.
She hasn't made it to London yet. So, shoot her an email and say, hey, WTF. I'm sitting there waiting.
WTF? Where's the French?
That's right. Shut the front door. Call me already. She she is, look, she's missed when she's not here on Twitter Tuesday Live. Rich filled in last week. It was the Rich and Mark show. Interesting show it was. Wouldn't you say, Rich?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we had a good time with it, and I think that this week I'm actually going to be back with you. You have a great guest coming on this week. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about that?
Yeah, Matt from Pacifico is coming back again. He was on a few weeks ago, but unfortunately, we had some issues with the podcast not recording, and so we invited him back to let's do it all over again. And this time, we'll make sure we get the podcast done properly.
Now, let me ask you a question regarding this whole podcast not getting recorded. We've been doing these kinds of broadcasts for a number of years here at Music Scene Investigation, and prior to that at IC Weekly. We've experienced that a number of times. However, it's always been a situation, 90% of the time anyway, where it's been human error. Was that the case in the case of Twitter Tuesday Live?
Me no speaking no English.
We don't know how to record.
It's what I call the ID10T error. The ID10T error. You have to write it out and you'll understand. Or sometimes we refer to it as the PEBKAC error, PEBKAC, which stands for problem exists between keyboard and chair. Yeah. It was human error. I screwed up.
It happens. It happens. We're not going to hold it against you. Like I said, we've done it many times. It's something that happens. It's kind of like you get so comfortable in a situation and so caught up in the conversations you're having, it just happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and I'm glad you got a chance to get him back on and have a do-over and work it out. And then this time, I'm sure things will go a lot better.
And what time is this? Because people are asking in the chat what time it is.
8 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday night. Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
And people can,
good show.
People can find that over at your website, of course, which is Worldwide Indie Radio, WWIRradio.com. Again, Tuesday night, 8 p.m.
That is correct. And you will be my co-host.
I will. I got to tell you, though, Mark, I'm not nearly as good as what Carol is at this sort of thing, but I'll do my best.
Yeah, in all fairness, Carol's won awards.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just an old stick in the mud, not worthy of an award at all, as Ian has so rightly pointed out, even as subtle as it was.
I didn't say that. I just pointed out that Carol has won awards.
Yeah, I got where you're coming from. I really did.
Did you get a Boy Scout patch, Rich?
I honestly, Tom, I was a Boy Scout at one point in time, but I don't remember what, if any, patches I ever earned. I really have no idea, no memory of it. I've slept and drank and other things since that time.
Did you get your little broadcaster's patch?
No, I did not. Unfortunately, I should. They should have a broadcaster's patch, and they should.
I think they have a lot of electronics patches now these days.
They should send me those patches then. Or can you just go out any place? Mark, were you ever a Boy Scout?
No.
Okay, well then I won't I won't ask the question. I was wondering if you could just go out and pick up these patches anywhere you want, because I could put them on the wall back here, and I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, there are Boy Scout stores. You just walk in and say, I need to buy this for my son. He's a member of Troop 22 or whatever, and go in and buy the damn patches. I bet you can get them on eBay, too.
I've just put a link to eBay. There's the 25 Boy Scout or Cub Scout uniform patches from the 1990s, most unused.
Yeah,
$11.
Yeah,
$11.
I need the recent ones though, don't I, to get the broadcasting stuff and the podcasting stuff and the iPad usage one and
I think they have an aerospace one.
sending Boy Scouts to the moon. I don't know how often that happens, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Pinky says the broadcasting geek badge.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All right, Mark. So Pacifico coming up this week on Twitter Tuesday Live. What's on after that? What's on the week after?
Oh, you would have to ask me that. Actually, aren't we on break that week?
I don't know.
I don't have the website up right now. I'm sorry. I don't know what the schedule is. I don't even know what's happening tomorrow, let alone, next week. So, but, I'm sure, I know we have a day or two where we're not having a Twitter Tuesday Live. But I know we got like some great guests coming back. Josh D'Amigo. Hopefully we're going to be able to reschedule McKenna Lauren to come back. We have some first timers coming on. We have some repeat guests coming. We have, a lot of people lined up waiting to get on the show, but right now we haven't scheduled anything past November because we don't know what's going on in December, with vacation times and all that. Because Carol, she'll be due another vacation once she gets back from her vacation.
She always starts planning vacations immediately after she returns from vacation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't blame her. I'd like to do the same.
Well, I know that you know exactly what you're doing today on the broadcast. So we're going to get into it and start getting some music out for you guys to hear as well as our audience to hear. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we've got some interesting new music. I'm really looking forward to what our panel here has to say about it. So let's get to it, and let's start out with the first song on today's broadcast. Here it is, everybody. This is song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Enjoy it.
Games, there's nothing to save me now. You're slowly fading away. Your eyes are starting to scare me now. There's no one to blame. There's nothing to say. There's nothing we can do to change when it all comes down on you. Change me now. You're slowly fading away. Your eyes are starting to scare me now. And there's no one to blame. There's nothing to say. There's nothing that we can do to change when it all comes down on you.
That is song number 1 on today's music scene investigation. Let's go to Ian and find out what he thinks. Ian, you're up.
Okay. You know, I'm undecided on this track, whether I liked it or not. It's very MOR, very MOR. And there's a lot of good stuff going on there. I mean, the verse guitar riff was all along the Watchtower, across the board. Dan, 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 which is, you know, the same as all the Watchtower. That sort of caught me out a little bit. The guy has got a great voice. Liked what he was doing with his voice. Melody was very middle of the road. No backing vocals. Really, really, really wanted to hear some layered vocals on this. Again, it's something we come to a lot on MSI. Even if you're not performing them live, even if, you know, get them down on the recording, bring that chorus up more, you know, use the vocal layers as other instruments to give the track more dynamic. Not that the track's lacking in dynamics that much. It's got some nice parts, some nice dropouts in the arrangement, nice breakdowns, so that sort of clean guitar and the acoustic. Love the guitar tone and heavier guitars. I thought the bass separation between the guitars and the bass was nice. But I don't know, it just seems like everything's there. It's well recorded, pretty well performed. It just didn't jump up and grab me. It was background music, and I was listening to it, and I said everything's kind of in the right place. But as a song, I just found it very middle of the road, and it didn't grab me and compel me to listen any further than just it being there.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that. Thank you. Over to Tom Chianti. Tommy, what do you think of track number 1?
Well, I got a very 70s vibe, and I was hearing, like, what was that song? Don't Feel the Reaper?
Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely a very 70s vibe. I really liked the intro with that guitar, and it was very mysterious. And I think if they had gone along more than that, and then instead of, you know, a little minimal with interesting sounds, and it was really built up just like a 1970s songs, which I've got nothing against. I love that era. I like it, but I just I think the intro was the best part, and I think they should have taken that and maybe broken off in just a different direction. It's recorded nice. The vocals are nice and thick. I think everybody was playing in time, so it's a good presentation. But I think it could have been, you know, a little bit more bass and that not plinky, you know, finger pick guitar or whatever was really got me going into it. And then the rest of it was like, okay, 1974 running away from the police.
All right, Tommy. Thank you very much, sir. Over to Mr. Mark Lamdanski, Worldwide India Radio. Mark, your thoughts on this track?
Well, it's as if these guys were looking through my computer at the notes that I typed up, because everything that they've said are the notes that I pretty much wrote on here. You know, it reminded me of a 70s classic rock song. You know, it was good. It was a well done song. Wasn't different to me. It sounded like I've heard it before. I love the guitar. Did a great job. The guys got good vocals. The melody was a bit on the repetitive side in some spots to me. I agree with Ian. Some backing vocals would have added some a level to this song. I think it lacked of that. I think I heard a keyboard or a synth at some point, and if that was a bit of a tease. I love keyboards, so, you know, a little bit on the more keyboard would also be good as far as I'm concerned. Overall, a good tune though. Just I think it needs, I don't know, more flair, make it sound, you know, you can make it more modern and yet still keep that 70s rock sound to it, I think. And I think that's what it was lacking.
All right. I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you very much.
Pinky in the chat room, I like what he's put, so I'm going to read it out. he said it was a bit formulaic, and I think it was. It sort of really just stuck to a very safe arrangement and safe mix and safe writing. It was just almost written color by numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought you said formulaic.
All right.
And Bach, let me just say, Bach said, maybe a Hammond organ. I think that'd be a great idea, adding a little Hammond in there.
All right, fair enough. All right, the name of that track, everyone, it is called All You Can Do Is Run. It's by Jay Knight, and we appreciate Jay Knight sending that track in to us. All You Can Do Is Run. If you'd like your track in front of our panel, go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. Click on Submit a Song at the top of the page, and there you can do everything to get your music into us, and we'll randomly select, maybe, it might be one of the three we randomly select every week to go in front of our panel. Now, it doesn't matter if it's good, bad, or indifferent, as long as it's not copywritten by someone else, we put it in front of the panel and let them decide the merits of it. All right, gentlemen, 2 more songs to listen to. Track number 2 coming your way right now. Here it is, everybody. This is track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. And there it is. That is the number 2 track on today's broadcast. And we're going to go over to our panel now and find out their thoughts on this. Tom Chianti up first. Hey, Tommy, what do you think of track number 2?
Well, I think Pinky said it correctly in the chat. The first song was very reminiscent of the 70s. This is a very 80s synth sound. And I like 80s synth sounds. But I mean, the chord progressions were good, and I think if this went with a good lyricist and singer, with the bed that's laying there, would lend itself to a very nice melodic song. Of course, replacing a lot of the nice sounding synths with guitars and real drums would, have to be done. As it is, it's a great reminiscent homage to the 80s. I really missed the vocals, though, because there were some nice interplays going on with the chord changes, and I really wanted to hear a vocal over that. Other than that, yeah, I think a modernization of this is definitely in order. And I liked it, and would have probably played it in the background in the 80s at, a house party or something, or on the dance floor. But it really needs a vocal, to really sell it.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate that. Thank you. Over to Mr. Mark Lamdanski and his thoughts. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, everything Tommy said. What he said. It reminds me, I went through my phase back in the 80s where I used to listen to this type of music. In particular, I used to listen to a group that called themselves Megabyte. It reminded me a lot of their music. And I was a big fan. I love this type of stuff. This is the kind of music that I would, get my Walkman on and turn up the music and just lay down and block everything out around me. Just chill. If I smoked marijuana, I would certainly pop a doobie, but but I didn't. But still, no. This was a good song for what it was. I think it was good. Like Tom, I kept waiting for some kind of vocals to come in. One of the things that Megabyte did back in the 80s was even though the song wasn't a vocal, a lyrical song, they would add some sort of vocals into it, whether it would be just oohs and ahs or something, some kind of melodic vocal harmonization going on in the background that added another level to it. And I think that at the bare minimum, if you're going to keep this as an 80s style, new age tune or whatever genre this would specifically fit into, electronic or whatever, adding that little bit of vocals to it, I think would certainly be a good thing. And that's what I've got to say about that.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate that, Mark. Going over to Ian and his thoughts. Ian?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't my bag at all, really. I mean, to me, this is background music. Could do well with a bit of licensing work, on conference DVDs and corporate stuff like that, I think. Personally, I would have liked to hear that kick drum a lot more solid, a lot more depth in it, pumping a bit more. I mean, to me, this is more sort of that ambient sort of dance than sort of full-on dance. And as much as, I appreciate it's got the 80s sonic palette, that really didn't gel for me. I think Tom's right. The drums need some attention. Definitely live drums would have sounded a lot better with that real sort of thumping kick. And it got a tad repetitive. It didn't really seem to go anywhere. It had a nice melody to start with, but that melody didn't really seem to change or go anywhere. It didn't seem to lift or rise or fall very much. But dynamically in the arrangement, I didn't feel it just kept going and going and going and going. And so again, it's the sort of thing that if I was watching a video with content that I was interested in looking at or reading or whatever, that would work in the background. But as a standalone piece of music, it's not a track I would go out and listen to. Yeah, don't really like the sonic palette. Needs some work on the drums. Just needs to be a bigger sound, in my opinion.
All right, Ian, I appreciate that as well. The name of this track, for everybody's information, it is called More Than You Will Ever Know by a group called Mental Minority, and we appreciate their sending that in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, we have one more track to take a listen to today, and we're right on time for the whole hour today, so everything is good in that regard. Here it is, track number 3 on today's broadcast. Enjoy it, everybody. Track number 3.
Have you ever felt you wanted something bad? Do not stop before the have and the crave. To do all that's in your power every day. To go far beyond the prayer. 'Cause it is the understatement of the year. Are you crazy just like me? Can't you see just how wonderful it'd be, you and I know the insight's coming late, but I'm not shy. And there's nothing I won't try to convince you that it's better to be mine. Yeah, and to go all out. I'm gonna change my life around. I climb the mountain upside down. Refuse to think it's hard. All out. I'll stand here waiting every day, ignoring all the storms that rain, until I've won your heart. I'll be the shadow on your nightstand, wingman, whip hand, stuntman. I am anything you want, anything you want, anything you want, yeah. I'm exhibiting your peep show, freak show, pseudo expo. So it's just the understatement of the year. Hey, all out. I'm gonna change my life around. I climb the mountain upside down. Refuse to think it's hard. I let it I'll stand here waiting every day, ignoring all the storms and rain, until I've won your heart.
That is song number 3 on the broadcast today. We're going to start things off this time around with Mr. Mark Lamdanski, Worldwide Indie Radio. Mark, what do you think about track number 3?
It was a nice tune. I liked it. I think, as Ian would probably point out, it sounds to me like a guitarist probably mixed it. And the reason I say that, the guitars were like really in your face. Not that it's a bad thing, but the vocals seem to be pushed too far behind, especially at the beginning. I think that there was even a bit of a solo guitar in the intro. It was almost like it was non-existent, like it was just put there as an afterthought, because the guitars, the front guitar was just so loud. but it was a good song. Guy's got a good voice. Good. Love the harmonies. I don't think it really needed that wisp sound effect again in the middle of the song. When I heard that, I thought I was looping. I thought I was starting the song over again for some reason. But I do like it. Probably with a little bit of remixing, I would probably put that song on the station. It was a good tune.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mark. Really appreciate that. Let's go over to Ian Husbands and find out what he thinks of the track. Ian?
Like the track. Do like the track. Some really good songwriting going on here. Some real uplifting melodies. Guy's got a strong voice. Like the way the backing vocals kick in on that chorus and everything lifts. The dynamics are good. The performances are great, but the mix is all over the place. And I think a lot of that is to do with it's over compressed. Those rhythm guitars are pumping. And they dominate and they're knocking that vocal back. Again, as Mark said, that little lead guitar solo at the start was pointless in really being there because you could hardly hear it. And you know, that vocal, especially on the chorus when the backing vocals kicked in, little trick Mr. Tom Chianti actually taught me was that even when you've got a big gang vocal going on, you still want to have your lead vocal just a little bit out there to keep that consistency through the mix. And I felt with this that as soon as those backing vocals kicked in, those louder guitars came in, the lead vocal was set right back, and it just became a mesh with all the backing vocals. Backing vocals.
Thank you, Ian.
Do you agree with that, Tom?
Yeah, they were. You know, if you're going to bring the crowd in, make sure the guy carrying the chair or on top of the chair is the lead singer.
And I felt that was missed in this. I also felt the backing vocals were a bit messy in places. I'd like to hear them a bit tighter, as in the layering and the phrasing was a bit more together, and the notes were finishing in the same sort of place. Didn't really have too much problems with the synth swishes and stuff like that. I like a bit of ear candy in tracks like this. It worked. I think, you know, with a decent remix on this, or even just going back to your mix and a remaster, you've got a really good track here. I love all the tones that have been used. I love the sort of sonic state that's going on, but it's just that the mix or compression is just overdone, and it kind of takes the edge away from it.
All right, Ian, I appreciate your thoughts on that. Now let's go over to Mr. Tom Chianti and get his thoughts. Hey, Tommy, what do you think?
Well, I agree with Ian on the compression, but my problem is like when the kick came in and hit, you could hear like the left and right side of the music go down a little bit. It was pumping. The compression was really pumping. I mean, production-wise, the guy's got all the production tricks down. I think, you know, I like the plucky little echo guitar and the echo vocal. I think this would be done better as maybe a more poppy, modern country song. And hopefully have a crossover effect on that way. Guy's got a great voice, the harmonies and everything. Yeah, it could all be tightened up. My biggest thing that impressed me was the guy's voice and the production. The mix, you know, I think a different, even though I love the production, it's sort of in between genres, and neither rock, pop, or country. And maybe with a female singer and a little less echo, a little drier, and a little bit bigger vocal, and some different type of instrumentation, you know, a piano build instead of the swoosh. You know, some things that they're doing in modern country these days. But I really did like the song.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate your thoughts on that. Thank you very much. Now let me introduce that track for everybody. The name of this song this time around, it's called All Out by a group called Stage Republic, and we appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, we have a task in front of you now, of course, as we do every week. For you to select the song of the week, I want to invite everybody to go to our website, fill out their witness statements, musicsceneinvestigation.com/witness. Let us know what you think. We'll bring you the results of that poll next week. But right now, we're going to find out what the guys thought and their selection of the song of the week. Gentlemen, I leave it to you.
Well, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I mean, just because the overall, and like I said, I really like the production, and despite the haziness of a genre, I really like number 3 the best.
All right. Mark and Ian?
I've been ever since number 3, the third song stopped playing. I've been going back and forth in my head between number 1 and number 3. Not to take anything away from number 2, for what it is, I think it was great. But I guess we need to keep my mind on the modern look, on the modern touch here. And I got to go with number 3. I like number 1. The vocals were good. I think it needed more melody. It was too repetitive. It got a little bit on the boring side, I think, after a while. Overall, I think that the melody of number 3 was better. Do a pick a mix, and I think you got a good song there. So number 3 for me.
Okay, and Ian?
Agreed. Yeah, I'm with number 3 as well. Number 1 just didn't excite me. It just didn't grab me. Number 2, I felt was well done within its own right, but I think there's a lot of changes that need doing, and it didn't, again, as a track, didn't really grab me. So number 3, it did have a bit of excitement about it. It did have some character of its own, and yeah, it works.
All right, fair enough. Number 3, it is our song of the week this week, Stage Republic, and their track called All Out. And big congratulations goes out to them. Getting some information here from the guys out in the chat room saying they're hearing a little bit of echo. Yeah, we're having a little Skype issues crop up in one of the lines we have running in, so that's where that's coming from. Mark, I want to thank you for being with us on the broadcast today. Thanks so much for being here, my friend.
It's a pleasure as always. I look forward to speaking with you again on Tuesday.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Of course, everybody should go to Worldwide Indie Radio at www.ir.com. You should have got that, www.ir.com. www.irradio.com on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Twitter Tuesday Live.
So it's Worldwide Indie Radio, radio.com.
What's that?
Worldwide. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Well, WIR was already taken by a terrestrial station, so this is actually a digital broadcaster call letter, WWIR. So
makes perfect sense. At least you got in there somehow, right?
Yeah.
Rich.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ian.
Who have we got on next week, and who sponsors our show?
Our show is brought to everybody by Landar.com. That's our hit list show. And, of course, we want you to check out Landar.com by hitting one of the banners on our website. If you go to MusicSceneInvestigation.com, click on a Landar banner, we get a treat for you. You can have your music mastered easily. The easiest way to master music is going to Landar.com, first of all. You can get 2 free uncompressed WAV files of your music mastered the easy way. Drag and drop. They have algorithms that they've worked long and hard on that are genre specific for your music. And you can also get a year's worth of compressed 192K MP3 files of your music mastered there as well. All for free, of course. And our hit list winner, on the other hand, they take every month home with them a 1-year pro account from Landar.com, which entitles them to unlimited wave masters of their music and, of course, the compressed MP3s as well. So Landar.com, mastering made easy. Check it out. It's not going to cost you anything, so try it out and see if it'll work for your music. And Ian, remind me, who is next week's panelist?
I do believe it's Mr. Mike Sr.
Well, there you have it.
Ah, yes.
There you have it. Now, before we let everybody go, I know, Tommy, you've got some news to tell everybody. Next week is your last broadcast with us here on MSI.
Yes, it is time for me to go into the muck and mire and get my feet and hands and, well, we won't talk about what other parts, this being the music business, dirty. But time to get pushing back into it, and really, sometimes, you just gotta go with your gut. And as much as I love this show and been with me for so long, your first love is always your first love, and I'm going to take another whack at being world famous, and maybe Waves will make a plug-in name after me.
So the Cube is going to be getting its engineer back full-time, all the time, and you're just going to make another go of it. Is that the deal?
Well, not really another go. I mean, I've been doing it, not as much as full time, but I'm going to get more into developing artists, producing artists, and doing what I really set the studio up for, giving people a chance who might not have otherwise gotten it, picking up local talent, whatever I hear, on the web and whatnot, and just. This is a great show, but you can't do everything sometimes, and when you want to be your best at creative, you've got to be full-time creative. And as creative as I get with my limericks on this show, there's another side to me that I need to robustly explore.
Well, obviously, we wish you the best of luck in everything that you're up to and you're doing. We're going to miss you here on the broadcast. There is no doubt about that. And, of course, we want everybody to be back with us next week. Tommy will be here next week, so we want to make sure you show up.
It's a party.
Last tickets.
Yeah,
it's a party. We're having a leaving party for Tom. You're all welcome to join us. Bring your own booze.
Bring your own booze and shirts.
And I'd like to say thank you very much, Tom, for all your thoughts and reviews and that over the 4 years we've been doing this. It's been a ride.
It's been an honor, gentlemen. I couldn't have picked two better men to do the show with. I could have picked two better women, but not two better men.
I got to tell you, Box says he wants a hug, Tommy, so you're going to have to figure out how to do that. And
a long-distance hug.
There you go. You're going to have to figure all that out because I'm not getting involved in that. Again, Mark, thank you for being here. I will see you Tuesday. We'll see everybody else hopefully on Tuesday. If not, we'll see you next Sunday right here on Music Scene Investigation. Right now, we're going to play out with All Out by Stage Republic right here on Music Scene Investigation. Thanks for being here, everybody. See you then.
Bye, guys.
Have you ever felt you wanted something bad? Do not stop before the have and the crave. To do all that's in your power every day. To go far beyond the prayer. 'Cause it is the understatement of the year. Are you crazy just like me? Can't you see just how wonderful it'd be, you and I know the insight's coming late, but I'm not shy. And there's nothing I won't try to convince you that it's better to be mine. Yeah, and to go all out, I'm gonna change my life around. I'm gonna change my life around. I climbed a mountain upside down. Refuse to think it's hard.